Good morning. I'm Molly Herford, and welcome to another Consummate Athlete Morning Yoga session. So I've been doing yoga every morning for the past 6 years when I wake up, and it makes such a huge difference. So today's practice is going to be very core heavy, a little bit of strength, and a lot of yoga. So find your comfortable seated position. We're just going to start with our hands on our knees. We're going to sit up nice and straight and tall on our mats, and we're going to close our eyes. And I just want you to pause for a second, and we're just going to take a few deep breaths here. We're just going to deep inhale, really let your belly come out, and then exhale, let all that air flow back out. Really start to kind of wake up and energize our whole system before we're planking all of a sudden. So just a few deep breaths. And last one. Really let all the air out of your lungs, out of your belly, and open your eyes. Awesome. All right, we're gonna get right into it. So come onto your hands and knees. And from here, we're just gonna do a few little cat-cows. So we're gonna drop our tailbone, drop our head, drop our chin, drop our chest. Really let our back start arching up. And then slowly we're going to start to lift our hips up, lift our chests, lift our chin. And come into our cow. And just do that with your breath just a couple times. Just work your way through, just flow up. And then let everything drop. Head comes up. And let your hips drop, head drop, come into that cat. And slowly make your way back into cow. And then let's meet in the middle with a nice neutral spine. All right, we're gonna start with just a few little bird dogs, start to wake up our core. So really plant your left hand into the mat, really plant your right knee into the mat. We're gonna bring our right arm straight out and our left leg straight back. We're going to reach like we've been being pulled towards both sides of the wall. Really stretch it, keep your core nice and engaged here. And then we're going to bring our elbow in to meet our knee. And when we're in here, we're really going to work our abs. This shouldn't be just a nice casual thing. You should really be hanging on right here. And send it back out. Feel a little awake now. And bring it in. And send it back out. Every time you send it out, think about stretching really hard in the direction of each wall. And bring it in one more time. And send it back out. And set that hand down, set that knee down. And press your butt back towards your heels. Just come into a child's pose for a hot second. And because this is early in the morning, you might notice that your butt does not quite get down to your heels. That is okay. Don't need to force anything here. Try to come back to that nice, slow, deep breathing while you're down here, though. And make your way back on up to that tabletop. This time, right hand really firm on the ground, left knee really firm on the ground. We're going to send that left arm forward, right leg comes back. Really stretching, like we're going to be pulled in 2 different directions. We're going to get an inch taller from doing this. And bring them both in. Keep everything nice and tight and contracted. Send them back out. Really stretch and then bring them back in. And send them out. Really stretch on the out. This shouldn't be a resting part. And bring them back in. And send it back out. Awesome. Set your hand down, bring your knee down, and just press it back into child's pose again. Pause for a few deep breaths. open up our shoulders while we're here though. We're going to take our left arm, we're going to thread it under our right armpit, and just lean a little bit towards your left. You'll feel a really good opener in your left hip as you tilt a little bit. And switch, left hand comes out, right arm goes under our left armpit, and relax into that. Really think about just tilting a tiny bit to our right, just really work into that right hip. Wake that up. Excellent. Send that back out. Come back up onto your hands and knees, tuck your toes under, pop your knees up, and lift your butt up and back into a downward dog. Now it's early, or even if you're doing this in the afternoon, first downward dog of the day, you might not get your heels to the ground, you might never get your heels to the ground, and that's okay. Just think about really trying to send your butt up and back to where the ceiling and the wall meet. And breathe. All right, now we're going to hover forward into our plank. And you might need to reset your feet a little bit for that, that's fine. While we're here, we're looking just a couple feet ahead of us on the mat. Everything is working. Our legs are working, our core is working, our arms are working. And we're going to keep breathing. We're going to hold this for 15 seconds. So it is very important that you breathe through this. Nice, steady breaths. And slowly start to lower down. Think about sending your elbows back behind you. And come all the way to the ground. Let your toes come out. Bring your hands far and wide on the mat. And on your next inhale, we're just going to press in and up into a teeny tiny baby cobra. Especially if you're doing this early, you don't really need to go into any kind of full-fledged cobra. You know, your body is still probably a little stiff from sleep, so, you know, work your way into it. If this feels totally fine, maybe work your hands a little bit farther up and come up a bit more, but make sure you're not squinching up towards your ears. Nice and relaxed. This should be a good chance to catch your breath. And then slowly lower it back down. Tuck your toes. Hands come back to either side of your chest. Now I'm going to press back up into that high plank. We're going to hold here for 10 seconds this time. So keep breathing. Check in. Are you looking straight down, or are you looking at 2 feet in front of you? Nice, gentle look. All right, instead of coming straight down, I want you to just work your way down onto your elbows. So you're in a lower plank. Keep breathing. A few more seconds here. And tip over so you're on the outside of your left foot. Stack your feet and bring your right arm up and overhead. If you want to add a bit more challenge, you can lift your right foot off the ground, maybe send your right arm straight up. Maybe even look up if you feel that confident about challenging your balance. And again, keep breathing. I know it's really tempting, especially in balance poses, to want to hold your breath because you feel like you can stay in place. But really, we want to keep breathing, keep sending that air through. All right, bring that right elbow back down to the mat. Come back to our regular elbows plank. I promise we're almost done with our plank portion of the proceedings. Few more seconds here. All right, you know what we have to do. We gotta do the other side. So we're gonna roll onto our right elbow. We're gonna stack our left foot on top of our right. We're gonna send our left arm straight out. And if we're feeling a little kicky, feeling good this morning, we can lift that left leg up. Maybe send our left arm up, maybe even look up if balance is not an issue. And keep breathing. bring it back to center. And as long as you can handle this, use your hands, make yourself go back up into our high push-up position, and then just slowly lower yourself all the way down to the mat. Awesome. Toes come out, hands come far and wide. Maybe they come back in a little bit depending on how you felt in that last little baby cobra. And we're just going to press into the mat. Come on up into that little teeny tiny baby cobra. Nice deep breaths. You're probably feeling pretty awake by now. So use this time to let your breathing slow back down. Feel a little bit more stable, relaxed, calm. Start thinking about how you want the rest of your day to play out. Feeling nice and in control. And slowly lower back down. We're going to tuck our hands back by our chest. We're going to tuck our toes under. Press it on up into plank. And then butt comes up and back into our downward dog. All right, from our downward dog, we are going to lift our right leg up in the air behind us. Really feel that nice stretch in our hamstrings on both legs. And then we're just going to step our foot up between our hands, come into our low lunge here, both hands on the mat. And then when you're ready, just swing those arms on up, come into our little high lunge here. I want you to check in, make sure you can see your toes over your knees. If your knee is ahead of your toes, you've gone too far. And then maybe think about opening up so your left arm comes out in front, right arm goes behind you, get in a nice little twist. And bring it back to center, arms come up. And then maybe open so your right arm comes straight out in front. And then bring both arms back up. And bend down, bring both hands back to either side of your right foot. We're going to step back into our plank, and then we're going to press right back into our downward dog. And check in on how this downward dog feels compared to the one just a few minutes ago. Probably starting to feel a little more relaxed in this posture. Check in with your breathing. Make sure you're still doing it. All right, let's send our left leg up and back. Again, feel that nice hamstring stretch. Maybe think about your right heel dropping a little bit closer to the mat. And step that right foot up between your hands. Come to that nice low lunge. And then when you're ready, sweep your arms on up into our high lunge. And we'll bring our right arm forward, left arm comes back. Get in this nice twist. Love twists for waking up our digestive system in the morning. And sweep both arms back up. And open up so the left arm comes in front. And sweep it back up. Really feel that nice stretch in your right hip here. And bring both hands back down to the mat. Step it back into our plank. And slow, 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 lower all the way to the ground. Toes come out. And we're just going to use our hands. We're going to press it back into our child's pose. And then walk your hands up so you're on your hands and knees. Tuck your toes under. We're actually just going to kind of pop ourselves into this little squat. Doesn't have to be perfect. Sort of reset your feet a little bit here. But come into your squat, maybe sort of play around in it. See how you can get both heels on the ground. Maybe plant your left hand on the ground and lift your right arm up and look up. Really work your way into that left hip here. And then switch. Right hand comes to the mat. Left arm goes up in the air. Play around on that. And And bring both hands down. And slowly just make your way back to sitting. This time I want you to switch which foot is in front. So it'll feel a little bit more awkward. And let's just end the same way we began. Hands come to both of your knees. Sit up nice and straight and tall, like there's a cord being pulled from the ceiling and bringing you up. Close your eyes. I'm just going to take a couple more deep breaths. Really thinking about what we want to do today, how we want to feel the rest of the day. I love this practice because it makes me feel really strong for the rest of the day. If I can plank like that in the morning, I can do pretty much anything. One more big deep breath, so really let those lungs fill up, let that belly come out, let that belly fill up. And then let it all exhale. Let everything out. And open your eyes and go about your day. Have a fantastic day, everyone, and I will see you next time or over at consummateathlete.com.